Última partida de la noche, chat. 2-2 va. Contra todo pronóstico. El equipo de Falcon ha remontado, bro. Hasta llegar a un 2-2. Perdiendo 2-0. En Tiki están todos los de Myanmar tirándome. Me están tratando de funar en su país, bro. Tirándome hate. Me importa muy poco lo que me digan porque no les entiendo. No les entiendo. Me importa poco lo que me digan en Latam, bro. Me va a importar lo que me digan en otro idioma. El hate, ¿no? Ok, chat. Let's go. Bro, es que es increíble, chata. Es increíble, de verdad. Esa predicción nomás. Esa predicción del Galácticos contra Falco. Bro, antes de empezar el directo, hace unas 2 horas atrás más o menos, tenía 44.000 vistas. Y ahora tiene 169.000, bro. En 2 horas. Con 1.800 comentarios, bro. ¿Tú puedes leer 1.800 comentarios? Y cosas que yo ni sé todavía. Ok. Ahora, si gana Falcon, lo respondo todos. Porque están que me dan duro en los comentarios, bro. Por mi predicción. Si pierde Falcon, no abro TikTok una semana, bro. Ya saben. Ok, glue. Chat, no girar no win, bro. No girar no win.
And even the Uranus, I don't think Falcons would be hesitant to pick up the Esmeralda for a 3rd time here in this game or in this series because they've been pretty much able to maximize the Esmeralda as well in the hands of Flap. So Yangon, it's a tricky spot.
Yeah, I think Falcons, their approach to their draft has sort of felt like they're giving Yangon more, but they're left with the best part of the cake.
Yep.
Right? It's like, all right, get as much of the cake as you want. We get that little
part that still has like the cherry on it,
exactly.
Sprinkles,
but here's a little bit of extra. But this is actually really good by Yangon. Instead of going
al revés, no prendes en el verde y prendes full
tiki. Aggressiveness for Han. They play again with the idea of control. They pick up the Guinevere and they get the Moskov.
That's been banned out in that second phase every time. You guys have looked at it and said, "Ooh, Gwen would be good here." No, thank you.
Oh my god, bro.
But it does leave open a chance.
What?
For a very important
pick here,
whether it's EXP.
Esme.
Whether you try to look at your mid lane here.
So it's true the Esmeralda Uranus option is still there, honestly, for Falcon.
Esme.
They themselves want to switch things up a bit too and just jump into more crowd control potential. They can leave it for later.
Hay Esmeralda, hay Uranus.
And instead prioritize the Harley, which I think fairly enough would be a great matchup towards the Guinevere, especially in objectives. So they're really trying to readjust their sources of engage.
Son los mismos 3 picks de la anterior partida, ¿no?
I wonder if Yangon need to consider banning out a Farsa if they really want to double down on the aggro. But they need more crowd control.
Bueno, van a sacar Arlo. No, EXP, Nika, ¿no? A menos que banen. No hay Baratos tampoco, ¿no? Esmeralda, Uranus, Arlo.
Well, there is a chance Yangon just take out all these potential XP lane problems.
Yep.
The zonings that can come out from Flap, either if he does get his hands on the Esmeralda.
Seguro que aguantas una semana sin ver live en Tiki.
I just feel like positioning wise, you really don't want to face it anymore.
Taca aquí.
And that will allow you to maybe consider another pickup on the Badang if it's just really taking out the counters that we're talking about. But they instead take out the E,
which I feel like means Yangon just showed a little bit of where they are mindset.
Te pagamos con corazones. A ver.
Kenzo,
no, Kenzo es de Filipinas, bro. Kenzo es de Filipinas. Él es friend. Kenzo, my friend. Kenzo, my friend. My new best friend. My new best friend. Bestie.
The EXP lane is really where the focus for me has shifted. The Arlot has gotten banned.
Han baneado a Arlot por
to get Yang back in comfort.
But
now you have the Uranus and the Esmeralda. Is the thought, Brig, that if we save
¿Quién banea primero? Este de acá, estos tienen el primer pick, ¿no?
Pick up Esmeralda, we just get the other one.
O van a dejar uno, van a banear uno, ¿no? Esmeralda o Uranus.
Because I think the Arlot Guinevere also really would have been a great combo.
Van Uranus.
If Yangon are looking to just layer
Van Uranus, go Esmeralda.
And taking out the E,
Van Uranus, go Esmeralda.
a certain setup, right?
Yeah.
Uranus.
Falcon shows their mid laner now and pick up something like, I don't know, a Vexana. Yangon can go for a very aggressive EXP laner that can just break that formation. Zetian!
Oh, what the fuck, ya habían terminado los bans. Bro, es que estaba viendo al filipino, a mi nuevo mejor amigo filipino.
A lot of control, a lot of vision. The thing with Zetian lineups is, especially with a Harley, especially with a Claude, if Yangon end up with two strong high invade Roman EXP picks,
Chad, esto...
it's going to be deadly for them. If Falcons lose this early game,
¿Ya jugó
it's
Nick?
going to
No,
be
no, no.
hard
Juega en
to
la siguiente
come
partida,
back.
bro.
I think Yangon can lean in with just pure total aggro.
What about Paquito?
What about Paquito?
Because it's Etienne, because of her knockback,
Paquito,
it might be
no Paquito,
tough,
bro, no
especially with the
Paquito.
glue around as well, and the Esmeralda still open.
Oh,
Sora is
okay,
actually
okay,
a really great pickup.
Okay.
All right.
We might get Valentina
Sora es un
EXP
buen
here
pick, bro.
for Falcons
Sora
and
very good.
Flap.
Sora very good, bro.
That's an
Sora very
overwhelming
good.
amount of magic damage again.
Sora very
Yeah,
good,
and it's a
very
counter
good.
to
Muy
the
buen
Sora
pick, Chad.
in
Muy
the
buen pick.
lane. As Yangon end
Muy
up
buen
with the
pick,
Kali.
Sora.
The Kali not good if ever Flap ends up with his
O sea, ¿crees que en Filipinas te vean algunos? Desde hoy, bro. Quizás.
Sora cosplay.
We're going deep into the pool, baby. We love to see it. Last pick here for Team Falcons.
Yeah. It's either they go for that or just the next laner who could match the Sora and just disrupt positioning.
Oh my
And
God.
That's gonna be a Phobius option for them.
Dangerous.
Who would have thought the Phobius was
What?
actually still up there?
Yeah, they needed an anchor, actually. The Valentina would have been the more defensive option. But the Phobius could be used to
Tengo
beat
miedo,
out
Chad.
some skills from Yangon, and then the glue
Me
goes
dio
in.
miedito, Chad.
This is anyone's game. Yangon and Falcons
Me
will take
dio
each other to the
miedito.
limit with this draft.
No holding your cards close to the chest. You got to lay them all out on the table. It's the river. Even though we're playing dangerous grass, but in this case, they are all in. It is Yangon Galacticos versus Team Falcons PH. It's game 5 in
Okay,
MSC,
okay.
which means
Game
we're
5,
going to get
Chad.
our grand finalist after this.
Drex and Leo at your service, calling the final game in this best of 5. More than half a decade of allure, more than half a decade of hope and glory on the line, and of course, the first ticket to the grand finals of MSC at EWC 26. Let's get it on.
It's been a hell of a series.
Okay.
It's game number 5. It feels like a grand finals if you ask me at this point.
¿Qué fue el rojo y no se envió?
YG
No, el rojo tuve que cerrarlo, bro.
with
me
another
sale la
draft in their
notificación.
pocket. Falcon as well. We've had different picks throughout every
¿No era mejor
single
Niles?
game. And I love the way the panel put it. They are digging deep. It could be anyone's game at this point. Already so much aggression from
my.
both teams. Both junglers possibly have to go back. Blink has a quicksand guard, so he should be okay.
¿No era
The
mejor
draft
Niles?
has definitely evolved. Again, they're able to split up the Zushin and the glue. And then, of course, Nary and Esmeralda in sight. Early invade here coming in from Yangon Galacticos. And that Phobius from out of nowhere.
Okay,
Again,
eso fue
multiple
rápido, bro.
conversations have had prior to this game starting amongst the community.
Oh my
Is
God.
Phobius dead? And here at Red 5, possibly the most important game in this series, Phobius comes up in the hands of the Filipino cannon.
It has been, and it also, in this series, it's been a banned pick. It's been one that Falcon hasn't been able to get their hands off, and the one times that it is let through,
Oye, le han
it's
quitado
not
dos
even
campe-
picked
Ah,
up in
no
the
hay- no
beginning.
se
It's
llevó
picked up
el de arriba.
at the end as a last thing in the Swiss Army knife for
my God,
Falcons. Can
Tengo
Flat
miedo,
be the
Chad.
difference here? Ying as well on the Sora, another pick.
Tengo
we
miedo,
haven't
Chad.
gotten to see a lot
Ya
of.
sabes, si pierde Falcon,
So
no
much
hay una
on
semana
the
de
shoulders
tiquitiquio.
of these EXP laners right now.
No hay, se acabaron los directos
And
todo en
Flap.
TikTok.
Fortunately, neither of them have died. And again, this game has taken a turn after we've seen so much action in the first 2 minutes throughout the group
Ya
stage.
llegué, ojito los
Early
galácticos.
knockouts,
Uy,
we
mano,
could've
no
sworn
era
the
mucho,
meta has
bro.
changed,
En
but no,
Tiki-Tiki,
when
bro,
the best
tengo a todo el
of the
mundo en
Philippines,
contra.
the best
A
of
todo el
Myanmar
chat
come
está en contra.
through.
Si pierde
They
Falcon,
reign
bro,
supreme.
la
Early
que me voy a
presence
tener que
here.
aguantar.
Han holding that pixel brush. Blink with a pull. Ogwin flushes him out. Kyle here holding on. Oh, sees Blink.
Si pierde,
We'll
pone la
get to
cuenta en
level
probado.
5
Oye, ¿tú qué me crees?
for this
¿Rorro o qué
turtle.
cosa?
Kyle's going to try to go back to this orange buff and scale along with him. Both teams taking it slow, so slow. They know exactly what is on the line. Down in the gold lane, the swap back and forth between this Moskov and this Clint has consistently happened. But one thing we have to point out, Super Marco on the Claude has been monstrous.
Ok,
Denying
ok.
it from Sanji alone is such a power play. And I'm glad that we were able to take a peek at the gold lane because that's essentially where the duel is happening. And as we speak, it's happening now while these two teams dance around the turtle.
No puede echar, no puede entrar, bro. Está difícil.
Between him and Kyle, which means
Con esa switching. Están esperando el nivel 4. Okay.
They have to try to stun, and there goes a pursuit onto Han. A lot of damage locks in, but Ying still able to take the turtle. Gets a knock up on Ogwin, crashing down. The fists are hitting hard, but Ogwin's there now, taking a ride onto Ying. Falcons look for the response. No members on either team go down. Turtle goes over to YG.
Kill.
Marco going for that double. Rampage Sandstorm jumped in. Blink spent his ult to deny Marco a clean double wave.
All right. I like the way both teams are playing right now. There's sustainability around the map. There's crowd control on both sides.
No hay kills,
There's
bro.
engage, re-engage.
No hay kills,
this
bro.
game could definitely go the distance.
There's a combo that they're waiting for. Falcons want to get the perfect Fury of the Phoenix into a chain on that demonic pursuit. The demonic wave into infernal pursuit. Bop, bop, bop. That's what they're looking for. For YG came a little closer, came a little easier, right? A flicker into a shifting skies. So we're taking aspects of games 1 to 4.
Está muy a la segura, sí, bro. Los dos, bro. Ya me da miedo hasta hablar, chat. Porque ustedes me están haciendo creer que yo soy la mufa, bro.
But you can only really chalk that up to a little better mobility across the map for them. Since,
Ya saben, chat, esta guerra que tengo no soy yo solo. Espero que no sea así. Yo sé que es Myanmar contra mí solo, pero yo los metí a ustedes. Así que es Latam versus Myanmar, ¿ok? Hola, bro, ¿cómo van? Van 2-2, van, bro. Esta última partida me estoy jugando mucho, te diré. Me estoy jugando demasiado en esta partida, bro. La moral para empezar.
They're neck deep in crowd control. They literally have a bit of crowd control on everyone. So that's what Falcons is trying to skirt. That's what they're playing around. The fact that it's only Marco who has a Purify and Haji who has
5 minutos
passive.
0-0, bro.
Then Yangon has free reign.
¿Se están jugando la final?
It's taken all this time for.
What's insane about the amount of crowd control on both teams, there is only one Purify between 10 players. Both teams putting their all on an aggressive route, or on a micro route, I would say, looking for the outplays, looking for the chance to make something happen with these flickers. Kai's trying to make entry for Ying. Blink there as well. Han finally comes in, get the Violent Requiem. A lot of damage locks in. Super Marco comes over to Blazing Duet. Kai's able to take out Flap as Marco unable to put any damage on the backside. Han does go down though. It's 1-for-1. Flap for Han. YG.
Arriba perdieron la torre, bro. Abajo ganan la torre.
Not so fast. There is a
Arriba torre, abajo torre. Tortuga, kill por kill. Pero se llevaron al jungla, mientras en el otro lado se llevaron... ¡Oh, my!
Short range. That was 3 members of YG dogpiling on him.
And that will even the playing field in that last trade, because yes, the tower went down on top side, but tower also falls to Super Marco. And if they didn't find a play there,
no voy a hablar, chat. No puedo hablar, bro. No puedo hablar, bro. Ustedes me han hecho creer que yo soy la mufa, bro.
At a complete standstill.
Nothing comes for free. Yangon Galacticos and Falcons, believe it or not, are much more similar than one would like to admit. They are very macro-centric. Sure, good team fighting, great maneuvers, tactics on the map, but it has to make sense at the bottom line. When you look at that number at the end, how much do we get out of that? They have to have gotten their margins checked, and that's what that kill was on a Kyle. Kyle has to watch himself again. It's a death per jungler, Han and Kyle.
No veo, sácame esta cosa, bro.
Lane, though, I think this is where the difference lies. Flap is a little more willing to sacrifice himself, while Ying is still the hero play. Ying still counts his shifting skies as if it was the game changer. It was the win. Ooh, nice steal by Sanji.
Very well done. Both teams back to just letting their junglers do what they do best. YG, Han does take a camp up on the top side.
Bro.
He's holding a level ahead of Kyle right now, and it's kind of been the story. Even though he's on the Guinevere, he's been able to keep himself ahead in terms of juggling. It's with those little camp steals that he's taking.
¿Quién tiene mejor draft?
Here, a little bug on the top side. Anything to try to get the level advantage on the next objective.
Hola, Junco. Hola, bro.
Kyle has to watch out for, because more than just a cleanup, Kyle has to also keep up with the farm, which he hasn't been. He just reached level 10 now, while all this while Han was already level 11. So now in this final turtle,
is he turtle, my friend?
We'll see how, with the Fury of the Phoenix, finally, maybe Falcons can find that combo. Turtle down on 8.
Oh my god!
On Han. That might be the answer right there. Han unable to get it. Haji takes a turtle. Raging Sands from the backside, but still not enough. Super Marco with a blazing duet. Ying goes down. Kai's on the run. It's a double kill for Kyle. Sanji takes a tower off map. And Falcons are
Miguel se empuja arriba, bro.
capitalizing.
Perdimos
Sanji
abajo.
helps save the day, helps even the playing field by taking out Kyle as Falcons collapse onto Blink.
What?
Blink going for a ride. Ogwin hitching along.
That's the flicker. Blink denied further damage by flickering back, and you know the saying, better flickerless than dead. And only if
Chat,
Falcons could have
nos
cut
hemos
down
llevado
their losses,
dos tortugas,
which
bro.
I can't blame again.
Dos
Kyle
tortugas.
is such a softie. Look at this whole
¿Tenemos
lineup. Kyle is the most
misma cantidad de
vulnerable of
torres?
them all.
No, tenemos una
And the
torre
reason
menos,
how this
¿no,
works is the
Falcon?
perfect synchronization of all of their ults.
Tenemos
Look at
más
all
que,
the greens gone.
pero tenemos menos
That's what
oro.
Falcons is looking
What?
for.
In the super delayed SOD, Sanji doesn't commit
What?
to it first. First he takes the tower,
Yep.
and
Es
then
por la
he
torre,
SODs.
chat.
Kyle thinks he's in the safe,
Objetivos,
and
chat,
up pops Sanji from the back.
Final nanosecond is what it takes in Sanji. Yes, take away my Claude, but my Pocket Moskov is also pretty darn good. 1-0 and 1.
Claro, aquí se llena esta Caracas, sí, bro. Pierde Falcon, bro. Y la que me voy a tener que aguantar en Tiki-Tiki.
The past 2 games to get used to it, and he's up 700. Look at that. So now I think Falcons, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they have to pay attention to Sanji. They have to find a way to put a beat on this Moskov. And I think, say what you will about the last time that they met here in this game, but I think it's got to be on Kyle. Kyle has to be on Sanji guard, because looking at the rest of the lineup, Ogren's been dealing with a little too much.
Ooh, another tower dropped low. YG make their way down bottom as Falcon try to break through, but they are in a little bit of a pincer here. They need to be careful on this engage. Super Marco able to get onto Sanji. Sanji gets knocked up. He tries to be in my way, but they've all collapsed.
Oh my god!
Unable to get the engage. Blink in the backside.
Hello,
Kyle's
hello!
already onto him. It's too much damage.
Oi,
Blink
oi, oi,
doesn't
oi,
have the
oi.
flicker.
Pew, pew,
One more
pew,
shot.
pew.
He
What
uses
the
to
fuck?
conceal. Where is he going?
Pew, pew, pew.
There was
Easy lord, bro.
5 to 6% chance that Blink wasted more time, got away with it, because by jumping in and without the blind space escape card trick, he would have gotten away. But alas, here we are now. 2 dudes down for Yangon Galacticos. Falcons blitzing the Lord.
And there's just no way in. YG has finally given it up.
Oh mi Dios, bro. Vi la lanza de Mosco. Pensé que se lo...
Good call, but I don't think Sanji
Bro, mi
would have pressed it
corazón,
anyways.
bro,
He was
mi
going for the
corazón.
steal. And we've seen that before. Historically, we've seen that before. One more look at that sequence.
Me doy cuenta que hay varios haters
I said
aquí.
it was
Sí, bro.
Kyle who
El
should
Tiki-Tiki
be
está lleno
checking
de
in on
Myanmar,
Sanji,
bro.
but hey, 3 dudes work as well.
Y como yo le aposté a
In that
Falcon
fight there,
y hice mi video.
YG, I wanted to see him close the distance a little bit faster. I don't know if they felt like Sanji was a definite getaway or not, but in the end, losing Sanji there, then losing Blink, it was an easy lore taken. Finally, we
Moscow
see
crazy
a team
boy.
get past the
Moscow
1K
crazy
gold
boy,
mark
bro.
in terms of a lead.
Even with just the pick up on Sanji,
Cuando
I think that would
termine
have been a
este
clean
chat,
lore
miren,
take
cuando
either way.
termine esta
That's how
partida,
fast I think
si es que
Falcons
gana
can move, and
Falcon
that's
o si es que gana
good they
Galácticos,
are at recognizing
vayan
this window of
al
opportunity. Now they have a
video de
2,000 gold
del
lead.
Tiki-Tiki,
Haven't quite
el
closed
cual
the gap
es
between
la
Sanji and
predicción
Marco.
de esta partida,
Now
para que vean los
about
comentarios,
200
bro.
between these 2 gold laners. And they
De
get a
verdad.
push up top. This is it. Falcons are
Son
in
más de
pole
1800
position.
comentarios, bro.
They're
Se van a
in
divertir
driver's
viendo.
YG has to try to not lose any inhibitors here.
Muerto.
It's a bad position if they do, especially with Lord coming down on boss side next. Lord finally
Oh my
taking
god,
out
bro,
a couple
what the
more
fuck is
shots.
daño?
Jahan able to take it.
Torre.
Jahan on the boss side pushing lane right now. YG
Hola.
gonna jump in. Ogren gets pulled back in. Super Marco with the blazing duet. How much damage? But doesn't get the final shot. As Haji
Oh my-
and Ogren
what?
are caught under the tower.
Arriba,
Sanji
arriba, arriba,
finally
arriba.
falls, but Haji will fall as well as Blink. With the quicksand guard still alive. Does get CC'd and taken out. Kai's with a double kill. And look at Han.
Oh my
on that
god, bro.
bottom lane
What the
against
fuck?
base.
Ever seen a Guinevere pretend to be a Ling or a Fanny? That's what Han has done here. And
What?
Falcons got punished
What?
hard inside. I don't think they're going to be able to push in. In comes Flap, Flicker, Dark Wave. Fight's happening. He should be fine.
Magic.
Han's okay.
Good. He's good. He's good.
Han's okay. Turret did not fall. But that's as good as it gets for YG, all right? Inside their base, they get a good punish. Sure, they traded Sanji out for it, but they also get a push down bottom.
Bro, crazy
Gold
winner, bro.
difference equalized as well.
Yep, again, about 500, 1,000 between them, but just the same.
El oro es el
Yangon
mismo, bro.
Galacticos are about their
El oro es el
wits.
mismo, las kills
It's
son las
not like they
mismas.
lost their footing. It's not like they're panicking.
Las torres,
And believe it
bueno,
or
va
not,
ganando
despite the
Falcon.
Free Lord, Drex, despite the Free Lord, the map is at equilibrium. That's how
es igual.
good YGR at macro.
Even in terms of tower health.
It's almost
like down to the line.
What the fuck,
down
bro?
to the pixel. That is how equally matched Yangon Galacticos and Falcons are. Kaiser picking up a.
Oh my god, what the fuck is
Ice Queen
it?
one
Parece
here
un
to
leak,
help
un
with the
silón,
spread
bro.
to be able to slow down the forward push of Team Falcons. Looking at the rest of their kit. All right, finally, Kyle is firing off on all cylinders. That's something.
Chat, what the fuck,
to
pinche
marvel
Winnever,
at,
bro.
Despite the fact that he has a hard 7-8 minutes that he had to play through. But Marco isn't on the board yet. No kills for this Claude just yet. And I think that's what he was looking for. That's why he was so gung-ho to go into the base.
You know, it's been all eyes on Sanji, though, on this Moscow.
Okay, arriba están igual en
start to be
minions.
Kai's 4-0-1. He's been untouchable.
jalando?
He's been putting out great damage.
What is that, at
He's
least 2 or 3
secured himself.
stacks?
El glue tiene el limpio, ¿no?
It's clean for him right now, and it's only going to get better and better as YG start to burst down or at least keep pace on this Lord. Super Marco wants to pull it to their side. The dance is on.
So with the draft that they have, Falcons has a slight advantage on the Lord Dance. Claude, much like the Melissa, can do a singular Lord Dance blink here. Warning shots. Pew, pew. BMI forward. Might force a response out of blink here.
Super Marco
And the man Mark. BMI back.
is back. How long does that BMI last?
I
I
mean,
feel like he was chasing him for a
Oh
minute
my
there.
god, what the fuck?
as long as the
lo
SOD
siguió.
good and
Shifting skies.
Oh my god, oh my no!
Kais gets the kill. Deadly Magic isn't going to be able to finish off Ying. Blink in the backside, able to pull Super Marco away as Kais gets a double onto flat. That was the target. That was the bait. And Super Marco wasn't there to help out the team. Now Kais is on to the next one as Hodging falls. Blink goes down. But it's still not enough. 4 members drop on the side of Falcons.
Kaiser is out of this world.
In the wood?
Massive stacks gain. Falcons fans are
In the
at
wood?
the end of their wits. A singular mistake, maybe a second too long, held inside a bush.
Okay,
A moment of hesitation leads to a 4-for-1 trade.
okay, Lord,
Once
Lord, Lord.
again, you can split up the Obi, but they find a way to collapse into you.
Blink was such an amazing raging sandstorm to delay the engage from Super Marco. He catches Haji and Marco in that hit.
What a bait. For what? The better part of a minute, Blink was conditioning Marco. And maybe even the rest of Falcons saying, look, we're going to take
sea,
it.
¿por qué estaban
All
los
we
de
gotta
Onyx
do is
celebrando? ¿Se puede
grab
saber?
it. It's right underneath their noses. And Falcons fell for it. Because of that, they're down 2K. They're in jeopardy to lose their bottom lane inhibitor. And that's 50
¿Por qué
stacks,
estaban
so
los de
5
Onyx
kills off of
celebrando,
the
bro?
original 2 before he built the Skypiercer.
Oh my.
This
No
Zushin,
mames,
I don't know
de
if they're gonna
verdad.
kill him. I don't know how Kais is gonna die here because again, prior it was the Sanji watch. Now it seems like even Blink is immortal. How is Kaiser gonna get his stacks cut in half?
I don't think there's a way. We will see though. YG with a beautiful delay on this Lord push. They're going to be able to focus on this mid and top side as the Lord slowly makes his way downtown.
Perfect sync.
Ya comenzaron,
Mid
bro,
lane
ya
tier 2
comenzaron, bro.
drops. Sanji hidden from where the sun
Ya
don't shine.
comenzaron, ya
He's not
comenzaron a
even
venir,
on the
bro,
left
ya
gun. I'm pretty
comenzaron a
sure he
venir.
has it already. You're not supposed to be able to hit from that range. Blink here, put down to a third. No way this Lord doesn't jump in. It cracks the inhibitor down bot.
Inhibitors finally fall. Falcons base now vulnerable in the hands of YG. It's a 4K goal lead. 16 minutes in, Leo. We've had a lot of one-sided games so far in the past 4. We were wondering how Game 5 was going to be. This is the
Llegaron,
longest
sí, ya
one so
comenzaron, aquí
far.
está
I'm
de
pretty
cabra.
sure at least getting to that clock.
It's about a minute and a half before the Lord spawns lower quarter. Falcons fans can thank the heavens that it's not on the long lane.
Yes.
So that's less of a worry, but given the double clone jutsu BMI on the Space Escape, they can afford it, but this is still something that they could use to their advantage. So far, Yangon Galacticos, man to man, just up on every single roll. Again,
Believe,
I can't even count
chat, believe.
Kyle over Han, because Han is a utility jungler. Han doesn't care if he's down on damage. All he needs to do is find the perfect Requiem, which is again set up so perfectly prior to that 4-for-1 trade. Because again, on-demand crowd control. That was the issue in Game 1 and 2. Game 5, it haunts Falcons once again. And I'd hate to throw it back to the fact that there's only one Purify, just but one in Super Marco. Passive on Haji, procced off once again.
And that was the big risk we brought up at the beginning of the series. So much crowd control on both sides, so little purifies. Yes, Super Marco's outputting the damage. Yes, we can see him chipping away on Blink, but he has to put his all onto one person to be able to do that. And while that keeps happening, YG is capitalizing elsewhere in these team fights. YG is finding those violent requiems. They're finding other targets.
Último
They
Lord.
have to deal with Super Marco. Blink can handle
Último
that.
Lord.
We'll kill the rest.
As soon as Young
Bro, yo
Galacticos
confío en
find their
Flap,
1-2
bro.
punch, crowd
Yo confío en
control,
Flap.
CC AoE on at least 2 or 3, then that's it. Falcons have to fold. So that's why this dance is going to be very, very perilous. Y-Brush getting flushed out by Ogwin. Big knock-up set up here by the Lord. Oh, the massive pull. This might be uncontestable.
I don't think they can make their way in. Kyle's not
what
there.
the
Han
fuck?
able to get it. Into the backside flap. Able to get a nice deadly magic. Han taking a lot of damage. Blink though. Taken out by Super Marco. Blazing duet. Kyle falls. Focus Ying is there to save them all. And Flap will be next. YG doing what we thought they couldn't. Haji falls and it's one man standing. Ogwin against the world. Ogwin against it all. Kai's with the maniac. The final nail in the coffin.
Falcons took the fight, and Yangon will take the spoils.
It's been 5 years. 5 years of doubts for Myanmar. 5 years to regain their old glory. And today it took 5 games to finally do it.
As was in the East, Shaq be in the West. Half a decade in the making. The Burmese best the Philippines. Yangon Galacticos are the first team in the grand finals.
I got chills, Leo. 5 games at that point. Falcon, it felt like they had the momentum after taking 2 losses, bringing Yangon Galacticos to the brink, to the edge. And even
mi
game
Dios,
5
bro.
went down to the line.
Oh, mi Dios, no quiero.
For the first time
No
since
quiero ver el
2019,
tiki-tiki, bro.
There are no Filipino teams in the grand finals of MSC.
No.
This is historic. Sure, Yangon Galacticos.
Haciendo del remordimiento un litro, haciendo de mi tripa corazón y de mi corazón añico. Vuelve, no, que no me queda nada para ti. Todos dicen vuelve, no, 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 que yo no me vuelvo a ir. Todos dicen vuelve, vuelve, que no me queda fuerza para resistir. Todos dicen vuelve, vuelve, todo, todo, what, what.